Imwe wapeza chabwino, 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 chinto chabwino, chabwino, hadziyamika kumwamba azabwino. Ngati wapeza wachikondi, wachikondi, umakutandiza ukalemedwa ndi moyo. Icho ndi chabwino, 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 ziyamika kumwamba, kumatokoza kumwamba, ukaipeza yakodona, yakodona, yomakonda iwewe usati winanzo. Icho ndi chabwino, icho ndi chabwino, uziyamika kumwamba, poti ena kulira, ukampeza wachikondi, wachikondi, wamakupirira mphulupulu zako, nasunga chinsinsi.
I hope you like Wapweza Chabwino by Namadingo. Add it to your playlist if you like it. We are getting our music from Spotify. I see Kick 765, you were saying tucheze Bien Safari. I guess I can finish with that. Sikujua tunaweza fanya request hour. Let me look for Bien Safari. We can do request hour actually. If you have new music, please suggest to us and then we can play it here. People can add it to their playlist. And yes, we'll play Bien Safari just after, when we're completing the show. But if you're just coming in, this is the In All Honesty podcast on our TBC radio show, coming to you every Monday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on Instagram Live with yours truly, Oliver Rao. Today we were talking about beauty and self-esteem. Is there ugly privilege, and is pretty privilege really privilege? And also, if you have missed the first hour of the show, our show is usually a 2-hour show. If you've missed the first hour live action, do not worry. From tomorrow onwards, you will find the full episodes on YouTube. And you can also download the audio episode on byolive.com. The link is in my bio. The full episode show goes for 75 Kenyan shillings only. That's how you get to support the podcast. Or you can join our YouTube membership for only 322 shillings per month. And there you'll get all the videos for all the episodes. But for this second hour that we're just getting into, which is our podcast hour, the episodes are usually up on not on social media, on our streaming platforms. So whatever it is you get your podcast from, whether it is Spotify, AfriPods, Amazon Music, Castbox, you'll get the second episode there. And even YouTube, by the way, even YouTube, we still have the second hour usually uploaded by tomorrow onwards. And I'd also like to remind you before we get into the discussion and into the confessions that we have advert spaces on the podcast. So if you'd like to advertise, you'd like to sponsor, please feel free to reach out to me. That is on mail@byolive.com. I have basically, if you just go to my profile, you can reach me through any of those contacts or through my number on WhatsApp. That is 0728 171 059. WhatsApp only. If you call, I won't hear it. I mean, it doesn't ring. It's not active for calls. It's only active for WhatsApp. So reach out to me. Let's run ads up on here. And of course, if you're running ads, I'll share with you the performance of the episodes, and just so you can see how the platform is working. And we can also see if we can get more eyes on your product or service. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about beauty and self-esteem. 247 Crochets, ulikuwa unauliziwa na Doliat. Ndo huyu basi umefika. 247 Crochets says, now that we're talking about girls embracing themselves, I can suggest you play Sanaipe's latest song, Just the Way You Are. It's a beautiful song. So what happens here? Do we need Bien or Sanaipe? We do a poll. We do a poll for Sanaipe, or we also had a request for Bien's Safari, but we can do Sanaipe on the next one, or I can do both at the end. We'll see at what point we want to do that. And anyway, so talking about pretty versus ugly privilege, I want us to get into some confessions, and then we'll do some analysis and thoughts generally, and then we close the show. So our first confession here, I got 3 confessions. I couldn't get like long ones. So the first 2 are short confessions, and it basically just goes into the conversation that we are talking about right now. And the first confession I got here says, I thank God every day that he made my face not ugly. Gratitude. Pale kwa gratitude list when you cut my face. I'm a fucking loser. I can't hold a job. I never finish any schools I go to. I never have money to spend, and I don't do shit. Every day I look in the mirror and thank whoever made this universe that my face is at least nice to look at. I feel like if I didn't have that, I would have never made any friends or had girls that liked me. Anyways, just wanted to share that thought. Thank you. I would say my face card never declines. Thanks. But dang, that's some self-awareness. I'm a fucking loser. I can't hold a job. I never finish any schools I go to. And I never have money to spend. I don't do shit. But why don't you okay. Is it a character? Like, is it a disorder? Is it a disorder where you cannot achieve things, or you cannot do things, or you cannot build discipline? I need to understand whether that's a disorder before I go into asking them, why don't you just try and do something? Like, finish one thing. Like, maybe finish school. Maybe finish just one school, get one certificate, and be like, okay, I did that one thing at a time. Because it seems like you're not very confident about yourself. Like, yes, of course, you're pretty, that you're sure, but you feel very much like there's not much else you can be proud of yourself for. So I feel like it's concerning. As much as I'm happy for your pretty face, it's concerning. Yeah, because then this is what we were talking about, and the self-awareness is crazy, because I always thought the ones who didn't have the brains were just going to use beauty and brains. When we were discussing the Kibanja, whatever, when we were discussing Kibanja and all that, we said the term beauty and brains came about because people didn't think beauty had brains and brains could have beauty. Those two were completely exclusive. So people who had beauty were always pumped about their beauty, that they didn't develop any other skills. And people who were not conventionally beautiful knew that they can't count on their looks, and therefore they sharpened other things. They sharpened alternative skills. And therefore they were the ones who probably thrived, had more knowledge, were getting more money, because they probably went into investing into other skills. And that is why it was always a surprise when someone comes out to know something and they are conventionally pretty and they go, oh, beauty with brains. I remember this a lot with Sarah Hassan. When people learned, when Sarah Hassan started doing media tours, and people learned she was doing actuarial science in school, and everyone went like, beauty and brains, beauty and brains, beauty and brains. That I think it's the first time I remember hearing beauty and brains so much in my life. It was Sarah Hassan, and she was doing actuarial science, and she was doing media tours. I think at the time she was on Tahidi High. Yeah. So it was beauty and brains. Wow, beauty and brains. Because I don't know if you are beautiful, you are just supposed to go to school and study. I don't know what courses were beautiful girls supposed to study. Yeah, because Poetry with Doliat, you're saying become a commercial model, utilize your beauty. Oh, you're talking to. Oh yeah, we also assumed all beautiful girls would just become models. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, like, use your beauty for something. True. Like, you don't even have money. That's crazy. That's crazy. I would think if you can. Yeah, but you've also seen. This is for men. You've also seen very good-looking men who are just bumming out on girls' couches because they have the face. I mean, they have the face and good bed game, badminton, and that's all they have to offer. And yeah, I guess make something out of. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. And this is a man, actually. He's really good-looking, but he says he has nothing else to him. Kick765, you are saying, let's not forget also home tutors. Parents trust them to a point of leaving them unsupervised. Guys. Are you home tutors? I would go. Okay, I'm very keen to not comment on things parents do because I'm not a parent myself. So I don't know what the line is when it comes to just blatant judgment. But I wouldn't, like, I don't leave people unsupervised. I don't even leave my house unsupervised, with or without a child in it. Like, I can imagine with a child in it, I'd be hyper vigilant. But yeah, okay, home tutors is something to watch out for as well. In the last hour, we just closed on the discussion talking about pumping up your children to believe that they are actually beautiful, and also reminding, creating space in your home for kids to speak up. Make sure your kids are confident enough to express their thoughts, what they're thinking. They feel like Just because a child is loud doesn't mean they're disrespectful. There's a way you can train your kids to be firm, to speak up for themselves, but still be very respectful in the way they address whatever it is that they address. Because I usually tell people, I think my strongest asset is how calm I am in particular spaces. I don't say much, but I do speak. But I'll not say much. Usually when I sense an ounce of disrespect, you will feel that I have called out your disrespect. Although I will not do it very loudly. I will not create a scene. I'll not shout. But my thoughts will be spoken. So I think that is something that you can train kids to do. So at the end of the day, just let your kids know that they can always speak up. That really helps. We have actually seen that predators are very scared of kids who are loud, kids who can speak their minds, kids who can talk and say what they're feeling. So I hope there's that space in your home for children. And also may they be reminded that they are beautiful and there's more to them than just their face or their skin tone or whatever. Yeah. So I hope there's that space, there's those kind of spaces in the home. And I know right now I keep saying Gen Z and millennials are doing such a good job at parenting. I want to give you your flowers again. All the parents that I know around me are really doing a bang up job. You're trying your best. You're doing your best. So sending you so much love. I am sending you all the love there is to be sent in this world. Now, our second confession here is someone saying, I am never worried about growing uglier with age. So I guess this is an ugly man. It makes me both trust and appreciate my partner more. I grew up thinking that love wasn't on the table for me, but of course, I always hoped for it. Let me tell you, growing up ugly is so heartbreaking. Now I'm married. I love my wife and I don't have the slightest worry that she'll leave me. She's been by my side for 13 years. Part of me is still in shock, but I've come to accept it. Not that ugly people can't get their hearts broken or anything, but I feel like I would have a lot of anxiety about things like aging and losing hair if my looks had been more of a factor in attracting my wife. So this person, I'm just saying, yes, it affirms the same experience that women are having. So this person feels like the ugly privilege in this case is having sharpened other parts of him. And now he doesn't have to deal with the insecurities that probably good-looking men would have to deal with. Because a good-looking man will notice when his hairline starts to recede. He'll notice when a pot belly starts to come on. A good-looking man will, yes. So he's grateful that he doesn't have to deal with the insecurities that come with being good-looking. And I guess that's a pack for being ugly. And also, there's an element of such gratitude. Like he doesn't understand, 13 years into his marriage, he still doesn't understand how his wife is with him. So that also speaks to low self-esteem. He doesn't understand how this wife has stayed with him when he's not conventionally pretty. But maybe, you see, he says he's not worried about his wife leaving him because maybe he's also confident that the wife liked him for more than his looks or something else that he had that is not his looks. And therefore he's confident that other men don't have this thing that I have that they can use to woo my wife, right? So it's a bittersweet. I said this conversation, every point we are talking on this conversation is a coin. It flips either way. So I'm really happy for this particular person. I don't know if we can still ask them to like build on their self-esteem and feel more appreciative of themselves and not so much that other people are looking at them. But at the end of the day, I was happy for this confession. I feel like he's so fulfilled in his marriage. He's happy with his wife. He feels so confident in his marriage. And I feel like someone like this person, this is something that we said. We talked about men who are can you call it chivalrous? Men who have chivalry, who still practice chivalry, are usually not very good-looking men. And it's because, just like us, they had to sharpen other parts of personality because the face card is declining, right? So it could be the ugly privilege we're talking about, where you see there was a girl in one of our feedback from social media who said, okay, I'll just read them again. I'll read the feedback from social media after this confession. But it's basically the same way you didn't have to concentrate on beauty, therefore you put your concentration on something else. So maybe you put your concentration on making money. Maybe ugly men had to concentrate on how to woo girls in other ways. So maybe you built your sense of humor, maybe you built knowledge, and that's just something that fascinates women when you sit with them. Maybe you went into looking for money. Money is very key for men. Maybe you went into looking for money, you put all your concentration into growing your wealth, establishing a family, being a provider. Like the traditional sense of masculinity is something that you maybe sharpened because you knew your looks weren't working for you. So by the time you got your wife, they got a full package. And they're just like, me, I must stay here. I have everything. And I don't know if you've seen that viral clip on TikTok where there's a podcast and this woman is being asked, there's a man and a woman being interviewed. And the woman is asked if your husband had everything. And like he's a good man, he helps out with the house, helps with the kids, available father, all of that. And he was bad in bed. Would you leave him? And the girl said, no, I wouldn't. We'll see how I can talk him through it. We can see how, if we can get help, we can get toys and all that, we can experiment. I wouldn't leave a good man just because he's bad in bed. And the man was asked the same question. If you had a woman who was everything, she's beautiful, she's that, she's this, she can keep the house, but her sex is shit, would you leave her? And this man goes ahead to say, well, I need good sex. I need good sex all the time. So at the end of the day, I'm a fumble this good woman just to get good sex. And that tells you where men's and women's priorities are. So I think for the woman, even the wife, has she got a man who has perfect? This man is perfect. So what we are overlooking is the face card only. I beg. I take face card. Take. I don't need it. Take. So I can understand. So let me just read some of the feedback that we got from social media. Again, we read it in the first episode. We read it in the first hour, but I'm guessing if you were not in the first hour, you might not catch that. So these were actually reactions from one. Whatever brought this conversation was the Kibanja breakup, where other women went, guys, if Kibanja can be cheated on, basi sisi tutafanyiwa nini? And the second one was the trend for in my prime. And this brought to light how pretty girls in school were being targeted by teachers and were very much sexualized. So these feedback I'm going to read is coming from that particular, those were the discussions we were having. And someone here says, let's not even touch on Rangala girls, on teachers sleeping with students in rooms without curtains. That one, all of us went, what do you mean? What do you mean? Rangala girls will call you out. I'll put it in the teaser, in the whatever. In the teaser that I share on social media, just so cause and then another person said, here are your teachers. As a TSC high school teacher, sijawaiona, but I have two friends in the profession who got into romantic relationships with their students after they cleared Form 4. As for beauty, yes, there are some privileges. You get treated as if you are rich. Na kama huna do, unateseka. Unaambia mtu anadhani ni jokes because you look good. So pretty people are not allowed. No one even believes them when you say you're broke. No one believes you. No one even thinks you've ever struggled. In fact, if you are pretty, who unto you if you are what is it? Who unto you if you are light skin? Who unto you? You've suffered. Who is going to believe you've suffered? And you don't have money, and the way you're beautiful. Are you mad? Are you mad? No one will believe you. But there's something this person has said about teachers. So she's saying, as a TSC teacher, she hasn't seen the relationship between girls, teachers sexualizing high schoolers or girls in school, but she knows of even her colleagues who have started relationships with their students, their former students, right? Once they left school. And we talked about how we even saw men waiting on Nikita Kerin to just finish school. And at the end of the day, I would really side eye. Yes, they are both legal now. You waited for your student to finish school. They're now 18. They are both legal. But I would still side eye you starting a relationship with your former student immediately after they finished school. Because this relationship just grew out of the blues. It just popped up after she's finished school. I feel like it was built somewhere. There was somewhere where it had started being dominating, right? So as much as they're both legal, yes, the girl has now finished school, but at the end of the day, I'm still side-eyeing you. I said I'm side-eyeing anyone who is above 28, who is dating between the ages of 18 to, let me say 22. 22 is crazy. 18 to 22, if you're 29 headed to 30, and you're dating 18 to 22, there's I don't know, there's just something odd about it. And I think I mentioned here, in my own preference, I'd really prefer that people between 18 and 23 just date each other within that cassette there. And then after 24, now you can date wherever. Like even 50-year-olds can date 24, whatever. Whoever wants to date whoever, let them date. But I just feel like these ages, this 18 to 23, yes, you are of legal age, but you're still so young. Even us women who date younger men, we're not going below 25, guys. I mean, hey, surely. Cradle snatchers, eh? But anyway, another feedback we got here was at Kez Kare from TikTok says, not really an ugly girl, but I'd say not being conventionally beautiful made me dissent men at a really early age. I also get to have smoother time in my male-dominated career. Wananitreat kama brother. Those are the ugly privileges. You don't get sexualized, and in your career you can thrive. So you remember when we mentioned that girls who are not very pretty sort of like became high achieving, got good money, all of that, because they had to sharpen other skills that was not their face card. Their face card was declining, right? So they had to sharpen other skills. And that is what we are seeing here. And for her, she's saying she managed to dissent a men early. You know, because we were always raised, from the time we were kids, we were being conditioned that you'll attract good dowry, you'll get a good man, you'll get a rich man because you're pretty, or it was all based on beauty. So if you know, mimi hapa kwa beauty sina lango, you just start looking for alternatives. And so it was pretty easy for you to dissent a men at a very young age and therefore work on other things without looking towards the validation of men. And that propels you. It propels you proper. At Goddess on TikTok also says, in my opinion, correct me if I'm wrong, the dark side of pretty privilege is just being treated like a woman. Let me try explain. Because women say, when you're pretty, you get sexualized, you aren't taken seriously and all that. Isn't that just the disadvantage of being a woman? So as we've said in the first hour, being a woman already is hard enough. Hey, my lord, you are disadvantaged just being born a girl. On top of that, ukwe mrembo, we sasa ujitaki wewe. So I understand that at the end of the day, it's just them being treated like a woman, but theirs is extremely amplified. In spaces where you would get away with maybe even no attention or just do your own thing and exist in peace, beautiful girls sort of cannot. And maybe it's amplified for them. The struggles that women are having, standards, it's amplified for them. So when they're not so pretty, you fall in the standard for women. Women are still suffering, by the way, but such a beautiful women, amplified. And at the end of the day, there is no winning. There is no winning. Now, let me look at my second confession, which was actually very long. And that's what we're going to go into next. Oh my goodness, it's so long. But anyway, this is from a pretty person. And they are saying, men view me as an object. Women view me as competition. The struggle. I used to be a gymnast and a ballet dancer. In the past several years, stress and medical condition has had me gain 15 plus kgs. I'm literally uncomfortable in my own body. The added weight causes me to not just be emotionally insecure, but I also have physical discomfort. I sometimes feel like parts of me are going to actually split apart and burst. It's like I'm not allowed to talk about or complain about it at all. I immediately have to go into damage control because I'm not overweight as some other social companions, as some other social companions, and they just dismiss my feelings entirely. I can still see and feel the difference in my own body, but I can't bring it up because someone else is very overweight and their feelings are more viable and important somehow. So this we talked about Kibanja. We mentioned it when we were talking about Kibanja, where we do not, like we're thinking Kibanja is so pretty, Kibanja is so pretty, Kibanja is so pretty, that we didn't even recognize that Kibanja actually took back this man after he had cheated before the wedding. And that might speak to an insecurity that Kibanja has that we're just not looking at, because how dare she have an insecurity? She's so damn pretty. So we do not know what that speaks to, but you see, pretty people are not allowed to have struggles. Like for her, she genuinely feels overweight. And yes, I don't like my body. I'm struggling, but she cannot speak in the presence of people who are overweight visually. They can be seen. We can see they're overweight. So it's as if she has to go into damage control. She's not allowed to talk about it or to complain or to say I'm feeling like this, which is actually very hurtful if you think about it. I think it's the same experience that we've had with people who are maybe comfortable or maybe grew up with a bit more means. It seems like whenever they complain, I have a problem. It's not like you're not allowed to complain that you have a problem, but you're thriving. At least you didn't grow up in poverty. but their problem is still a problem. It's still causing them sleepless nights. So at the end of the day, that's what I'd compare it to. So she continues to say, I've never considered myself particularly beautiful, but every success I've ever achieved through hard work and effort has been minimized or devalued because you just got for the looks. If I looked like you, I could have won that accolade, got hired for that job, got that promotion, been chosen. Jokes like the boss only hired you because he wants to fuck you. Nobody ever believes you can actually do anything that requires talent or skill. People think you are stupid, not gonna lie. I was thrilled and bragged about turning 30. I was ready to get at least a little respect for who I was versus what I was. And we've talked about this as well, where that is where the term beauty and brains came from. Because earlier on, the way we were socialized and the way things were set up, whenever a beautiful person had something to offer, we were surprised. And whenever an ugly person wasn't as smart, we were also surprised. So it was sort of like beauty never had brains and brains never had beauty. So if you found someone who was beautiful and brainy, then it would become news. And that's what she's talking about, where she's achieved things. She's gotten job promotions, she's gotten jobs, she's gotten accolades, she's put in effort, she's working. But at the end of the day, people will just look at her and be like, yeah, you got that because you're pretty. So nothing is really accorded the respect it should get in her achievements just because she's beautiful. And guy, this is so frustrating. I can feel for her. It's so frustrating. I understand. And lastly, she continues to say, men view you as an object. Women view you as competition. Both will immediately judge you and categorize you in whatever compartment suits their narrative because you must be stuck up, superficial, home-wrecking, gold-digging, spoiled, egotistical, slutty, or opportunistic. Hey! You have to try so hard to show that you are nice and non-threatening, and that backfires too because now you are so fake. If you take care of yourself, you are vain and try too hard because clearly you know that's the only thing of value about you. But if you're casual and nonchalant about how polished you are, people will slam you for that too. You never really know if someone is really a friend because soon as you walk away, they talk about you behind your back, about every fault you have or mock your enthusiasm for something good that happened to you to convince themselves and others that you don't make them feel insecure. So that last paragraph is really packed. And when we were talking about what is it called? When we were talking about what is it? Wait. You never really know if someone is really a friend because as soon as you walk away, yes, as soon as people always attribute your successes to your beauty. And then you see immediately you are termed as not having anything to offer other than your looks. And you see, she just summarized it too. Men view you as an object and women view you as competition. The minute you walk into a place and you see, what are they called? A beautiful person, you immediately think, okay, maybe she had a whole list. Let me read that list. Both will immediately, let me just start from the beginning. Men view you as an object, women view you as competition. Both will immediately judge you and then categorize you in whatever compartment suits their narrative because you must be stuck up, superficial, home-wrecking, gold-digging, spoiled, egotistical, slutty, or opportunistic. Like, damn. And that is so true. Now, I've gotten these, and I don't know, because I wouldn't say I'm conventionally pretty, but I know I do give an exotic feel. And I have had people just judge you for no apparent reason. You just look like, there's something about you. And also, I really give off money vibes. And I have seen how that can sometimes can bring out people's insecurities for no apparent reason. When I say you are broke, you genuinely are broke. But people be out here just projecting. And when she said that you're never really sure who's your friend, everyone around you is an op. Man, you're just like, this is so frustrating. But also, I would get where it also comes to where you see when we say these girls, sometimes pretty girls are so obsessed with themselves that they think they should be the center of attention at all times. So at the end there where she says they'll talk about you just so they can feel better about themselves. That, as much as it does make sense, it could also speak to you feeling like other people are not worthy. And so you view everyone as competition. You think Of course, they'll talk about me. Of course, of course, they'll make themselves feel better about this. And so you'll go about, and so you might find that sometimes you're moving about life just being very, I don't know what to call it, being very catty because you just believe, of course, I'm the best. And whatever it is that they're saying, it is niwivu. At the end of the day, they're just jealous. They're just insecure. So you might get into your high horse to a space where you might feel like anything that you're being told is just them feeling insecure about themselves. So at this point, you genuinely feel like you're better than other people. And yeah, that could also come out as is. So I've said every conversation we're having here, every point we're discussing on beauty and self-esteem is a coin. It keeps flipping. Whenever we say, oh, you're beautiful, so you have the face card, you get favored, there's a flip side to it. The other side is you're constantly not taken seriously. If you say, oh, I am ugly, so I was never sexualized, the flip side, you have to struggle so much to get anything done, to get into doors. You have to prove yourself. Some people are walking into doors. Let me tell you. First of all, if you've worked in the media and entertainment industry, sorry to you if you don't have the looks. I said, sorry to you if you don't have the looks. Hey, you will see people get accolades for nothing. And your only mistake is that you're not photogenic. Makosa. But anyway, let's continue to the thoughts and analysis that we had on this particular topic. So if you're just coming in, this is the In All Honesty podcast on our TBC radio show, coming to you every Monday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on Instagram Live. With you was truly Olive Orao. And today we are talking about beauty and self-esteem, pretty versus ugly privilege. We want to just we want to put on some thoughts. We want to share some thoughts and analysis on this particular topic. Now, this topic was brought about by the Kibanja breakup, where we saw a lot of, first of all, self-esteem from people. We realized it's very low. And also how we project what we think of maybe beautiful people and what we think they should do or how they should move. So we saw all of that in the Kibanja breakup, as well as in my prime TikTok trend, where we saw confessions of beautiful girls coming out to now prove the rumors that we had in school that teachers were actually involved with students. So while we were on that conversation, we've seen how pretty girls are not given the chance to be the children they are because they are very earlier on sexualized. They're already prime target for teachers. And we've realized that at the end of the day, ugly or beautiful, self-esteem is all that counts. Self-esteem, if your self-esteem is low, you will be a target because you can be easily bought with attention. And you see maybe some of the students you were seeing in school who were Roykani is the one who said if you call high schoolers students, it feels like they're older. Some of the kids, some of the pupils we were seeing in high school who were conventionally prettier, they were, as much as they were prime targets, they got these favors done for them. But because a lot of emphasis is placed on your looks, maybe you've just gone about life getting things and didn't think so much to invest in sharpening other skills, like maybe we've said social skills and all of that. So at the end of the day, you find that maybe in a world where if you are in a space where your beauty doesn't work for you, then you start to short circuit because what happens here? And you find yourself maybe constantly being frustrated. So we've said, parents, encourage your kids. Tell your kids they're beautiful. Let them learn that they are beautiful for themselves. Whether your kid is conventionally pretty or not, let them know that they are beautiful and that beauty is themselves. They themselves in their own, whatever. They are beautiful to themselves. And it doesn't matter who else is going to call them beautiful or ugly. That's none of their business. So that is one. And also second, create space in the homes for children to speak up so that they are not prime targets. We've realized that predators really love kids who are quiet, who are neglected, who are usually keep to themselves. So if your kids can be able to speak up, they are able to speak up their mind all the time, that would be really, really good. And I know millennials and Gen Zs are really doing a bang up job. So get your flowers. So some thoughts and analysis on this particular topic I had here. Pretty privilege is decent treatment and favors. That's just it. When we look at pretty privilege, really, what is it? But that is, you're getting decent treatment. You see how you'd walk into a place, you'd walk into an office and you get like better treatment. The secretary will smile at you. They'll show you where to sit. They'll tell you, in just a bit, If you don't look so good, I beg. If you don't look so good, the treatment is different. And you can see this by able to test it with guards. Able try and dress up the way you want one day and go to a particular building and see how the guards will treat you. and then dress up very nicely another day and go to the same building and see how they'll treat you. So that is what pretty privilege looks like. It's basically just treatments and favors. You get a lot of favors. Like you see back in school, I said the favors were for the girls who are pretty, at least in my school. The teachers would they would be exempted from punishment. They would get lighter jobs, like while the rest are working on flower beds and all that, the pretty girls would be washing test tubes, some random pretty girl jobs, eh? And then there were things like also, they were exempted from punishment. And what else was that? Favors. Contraband goods were being sneaked into school. It was the teachers who were helping them. If they needed to call home, then they didn't have to beg teachers to get phones to call home. They'd even get phones sneaked in for them. Like, pretty girls lived well in school, I beg. So those are the favors I am talking about. And the Don Mar, you just came in and you are saying, she's live and I'm here for it. Mar Coffee Navigate. Hey, we've not even used our applause for a while. The Don Mar, you continue to say, in class 6, the teacher made me sit with the prettiest girl in class. That boy must sit with the girl, or boy must sit with the girl thing they used to make us do. And all of a sudden, I was getting props and respect from other boys. Hey! Even proximity to beauty that's the privilege. That's the privilege, eh? People think it's not privilege, but even proximity to beauty gets you scored, eh? And you continue to say secondhand pretty privilege is also a thing. That's true. That is so true. And have you seen this? Have you seen how a man might not look so good, and then they bag a bomb-ass babe, and because of the girl because of the girl who's now their partner, other girls feel very attracted to this man now. And I think that could be also the Kibanja story. Because the Kibanja husband, okay, maybe he's beautiful in God's eyes, eh? And you see the buddies he's bagging. You see the buddies he's bagging. Because secondhand, yes, thank you for bringing this up. Thank you so much for bringing this up. Yes, secondhand pretty privilege is a thing. And I can say I'm also guilty. I'm guilty. Usually, sometimes, and not buddies, usually I look at a man's exes and I can judge whether they are attractive to me or not. And usually I have dated men who have exes who are a lot like me. So maybe, I don't know, me, I feel like I want to date a man who has a type. And I'm in his realm of type. Because also, you finding that your man has dated light skins. He's interested in light skins. And then you're the one he's dating right now and you're dark skin. What has happened? What has happened where? And even after you, even the people he's showing interest in while dating you are still light skin. So I can say, for myself, usually if I get to know, if maybe I know your ex-girlfriend, or I know the women you're interested in and they look a lot like me, you become more attractive to me. I'm sorry. That's for me. That's for me. The Don Maru unasema ya mtumba. Secondhand. Thank you so much for bringing that up. It was actually a point I had completely forgotten. But yes, secondhand pretty privilege is real. Okay, let's get into the thoughts and analysis. Your struggle is often minimized if you're pretty. That one we have talked about. And you are highly fetishized. Pretty girls are just fetishized. Have you seen? There's this girl who had posted. What was it? Was it just her video of her dressed up like really nice? And she had like nice nyash and all of this. And then someone just commented and said, with this kind of body, you'll never find true love. And it is so real. With that kind of body, you'll never find true love because there's a certain body that is actually fetishized. Yes, we're looking at CG, you have no waist, you have big nyash. Yes, you can have that body, but people want it to experience it. People don't want you because, you have a great personality, I like hanging out with you. When you're pretty, when you have something that's pretty, and we also forgot to mention when we're talking about what constitutes pretty, and we said Eurocentric features, there are people who, if they walked into any room, they are beautiful by any standards, whether she's your type or not, whether he's your type or not, we all agree, we can't call them ugly, even if they're not your type, right? So there's that as standard of beauty. And also these people who are just beauty, I don't know if you fit that beauty category, you are very highly sexualized, you are fetishized, And it's very difficult for you to maybe even find true love, because a lot of people just want to experience you. People think of you as a collectible. I want to just experience what it's like to be with this person. But I really hope you find people who see you for who you are and get to experience you and really get to have experience you as you are. I would say that. Now, ugly privilege. You are not as big a target for sexualization, but you are greatly considered for labor. I said every point we are going to discuss here has a flip side. Every point is a coin. So you see the feedback we got from social media where someone said, I dissented men very early in my life because I knew the face card is refusing. So I went on and sharpened other skills. And I'm also really thriving in my male-dominated career right now because they treat me like a brother. They don't sexualize me. So that's very good. It's very good. But the other side is that you're greatly considered for labor. So when we look at this in the aspect of marriage and dating, girls who are not very pretty are usually considered, no one will give them attention. No one will think, oh, you're so beautiful. I want to harvest you. No one will think that. But then men often think of not so pretty girls as very good homekeepers. So you are good for labor. You're good for donkey work. You're not good for aesthetics. So be very keen about that. So at the end of the day, even if you get attention, even if you find this person who really likes you and they really want to be with you, and you've not been receiving attention with your looks, what is it that they want you for? I think for men, if you're not very good looking, then men compensate with money. So a lot of times I feel like even men usually know this girl is just with me. This body, she's just with me for the money. I mean, everyone knows, even me, I know, and we make peace with it. So with girls as well, I think you need to clock when you are good for labor. Where Julie said this person has been dating light skins. All their Instagram, the people they're following on Instagram are all Kibanjas. And then there's you, who's now dark skin. And you're not very conventionally beautiful. And then you are the one he has chosen to be his wife and the mother of his children. And it's not only physical work, it's also emotional work. There are women who they're just, you see, if you are not conventionally beautiful, you sharpen other skills, right? Those other skills could be personality, humor, social skills. So you're very good company to have. So when I talk about you being good for work, it could be emotional work as well. So be very careful when you're being used for emotional support. Like Olive is a good time. I want to have a conversation with Olive. I just want to sit down with Olive and she'll make me laugh. I'll leave this place feeling lighter. So if you're good for work, my friends, if you are ugly, you sharpen the other skills that are making you thrive in certain spaces, but you're also good for particular things, and those might also be very much used. The Don Mario saying, yes, ugly privilege could be ugly privilege good for hard labor and criminal activity. Not criminal activity. Not criminal activity. But do you know criminal activity, even beautiful girls are very easy to put on because no one shukus them. So you will find that, you see how even in bars they employ girls who are pretty, promo jobs they employ girls who are pretty. You can easily sneak contraband because you get favorable treatment. You want to be searched, or maybe you'll be given better treatment. So when a girl is pretty, they can also be used for criminal whatevers. Do you remember was it Esi Wakayole or something? Just these criminal stories within Nairobi. And there was an expose where it's the girlfriends who used to carry the contraband for the men, because no one would shuku the girls, right? Yeah, so it's some sort of thing. It's a sort of thing. This conversation, maybe we should have had this conversation in a studio setup so that we have people just like giving their thoughts. Emily Wilson, you are saying, good morning, Olive. I almost missed this today. You almost missed it. We're actually just finishing up with our thoughts and analysis. But do not worry if you miss this episode or if you miss the show. You can always find it from tomorrow onwards on our byolive.com website. The episode, if you want to download the full audio episode, the entire 2-hour show, unadulterated and edited, you can get it for 75 Kenyan shillings only. You can download the audio, or you can subscribe to our YouTube membership, which is only 322 shillings. That's around $2.45. And you'll get every video. Boromeli Papa month, every week you will get the videos up and you can get to watch them and catch the 2-hour show. But for this second hour of the show, this is the podcast hour. You can find it where you stream your podcasts from tomorrow onwards on AfriPod, Spotify, wherever it is. You will find this second part of the episode. And hey, we were talking about ugly privilege. Ugly privilege. Also, looks not being a priority makes it easier to decenter things like love, beauty, relationships. That one we've talked about. So you remember, I used to, there's this thing we used to ask, why are, not we, I never asked it, but I used to see it a lot, where people would ask, why are activists ugly? They were not ugly. And they are not ugly. Activists are just alternative beauty. I know activists, so tunakuwaga tumeweka malok suku. Tunakaa vile tunataka hatupaki makeups, yeah? I know, but right now we are seeing a shift. But a lot of people used to say, "Oh, my feminists, they're so ugly. Oh, my nini, they're so ugly." It's because it was when you grew up not being conventionally beautiful, you can easily decenter men. You can easily decenter things like love, relationships, nini. Those are things that are not in your frame of thought, and therefore you are able to see other things. You're able to concentrate on other things. And also another thing that people don't realize: ugly people get exposed. Ugly people get exposed to injustices way earlier than other people. You get to see injustices and prejudice way earlier. As a child, you already knew this person is going to get favorable treatment because they are light-skinned. This child will get favorable treatment because, I don't know, they have a cute face. So even as we were growing up, we knew this child, my friend, is going to get treated better because she's beautiful. So from that age, you are already seeing prejudice. From that age, you've already been exposed to you getting a harsher punishment for just not being as pretty as another child, right? And so you're able to see injustice from a very young age, and that's how you can now see cracks in a system very fast. Okay. Not that Don Mar calling Okia Umtat. Okay, Umtat didn't have time for his mirror. He doesn't even have time to comb his hair. That's why he can see. He can see this system is broken. We need to work on it. And that is so true. That's so true. So at the end of the day, if you grew up ugly, you were exposed to injustices and prejudice way earlier than other people. And that's how you were able to see cracks in particular broken systems. And hence the idea that feminists or activists are ugly. Yes, if they grew up ugly, yes, they were exposed to the broken system earlier and therefore they were able to clock it. So their whole lives, they've been fighting for their voice, for their space to exist. And yeah, so that is why you see a particular aesthetic with particular activists. But right now, things have changed. I'm seeing more conventionally like good-looking people in the space, or other people, even their aesthetic is more cleaned up than what it used to be. Yeah, it used to be very mau mau. We were going to fight. Very mau mau. And also, it's the same thing. Why are activists ugly? Yeah, I've explained the entire science. Now, when pretty girls disappear, that is something that we also talked about. In my personal experience, all the pretty girls in school, they drop dead gorgeous. To date, no one has an update on them. We don't know where they went, what happened to them. Nothing. And I was like, okay, guys, okay, like, what's happening? Emily Wilson said, "My thought, no one is ugly. Most people have poor eye vision." Clocked it, Clocked it. My thought, no one is ugly. Most people have poor eye vision. Emily Wilson .1, 2025, April. Thank you so much. Oh, that has really cracked me up. That has made my day. No one is ugly. No one hata nava miwani. Sisi wote tuko na shida ya macho. Anyway, when pretty girls disappear, if you've gotten favorable treatment from childhood, from just being cute, you might not register injustice. So, unajua kama you were cute. And the same thing, it's now the opposite of what the activists were experiencing. So you were cute, you're getting favorable treatment here and there. It never occurred to you that there's a broken system, because for you things work out. Things come to you, things are given to you. So you don't clock injustice or prejudice or a broken system. And maybe when you are thrown into an experience where you have to deal with a broken system, you don't understand. This is extremely new waters and you're completely drowning. So maybe that is what happened to pretty girls. Maybe now in the real life, maybe they just couldn't keep up. Maybe now they're being faced with all this prejudice. Now you're being faced with injustice. And how do you now start learning now to just start to speak up for yourself? Ugly girls were already at it. Ugly girls were at it for years. By the time wanaingia maandamano, wamekuwa na experience ya 15 plus years. So maybe that is one thing. I don't know if this is true, but maybe that is one thing. I fall in the ugly duckling category. So I decentered a lot of relationships, men, very earlier on in life. I was able to see injustice very earlier on. And that is what now got me into maybe the activism space. So I do not know. But I know I'm not ugly. Now I'm looking back and I'm thinking, then I wasn't ugly. Kwani mnatumia standards za wapi watu, you guys? But anyway, it was I was very much convinced that I was. And so in my head, I just grew up as an ugly babe. But you see, that helped me to decenter men. That helped me to be, I think even my EQ, how emotionally intelligent I am, comes from partly that experience. So I don't know if maybe for pretty girls, when now you're faced with the actual world, it just drowns you completely. I do not know. Self-esteem might also be tied to looks, and you might feel entitled to attention. So this is the self-esteem we were talking about, where we feel like maybe pretty girls don't have self-esteem issues, but in real sense they do. And I think the pretty girls who've grown up all-rounded, like well encouraged, like put into spaces where they can harness their skills and all that. And also, if you grew up around other pretty people, I guess it doesn't occur to you. And there's actually someone, I didn't get I don't know where they sent it to me, but there's someone who commented and said that they don't know where they lie because they've never been called ugly and they've never been called beautiful. Then you're good. You're just fine. Don't worry. You're fine. You're very balanced. In fact, that's the experience I wish all of us had. You're very balanced, and that is fine. So that means you don't fall under the category ugly. That one I am sure of. I am sure. Because let me tell you, if there is something you will be reminded of, if you dare forget, is when you're not good looking. You could just be chilling, drinking a mimosa, and someone will just pass and be like, kwenda huko unakaa kama ng'ombe. Hakuna kitu umefanyia mtu. Hakuna kitu. So if you're ugly, trust, you will be reminded. You will be reminded. So I'm guessing if you never had it, maybe you grew up in a space where people were just, it wasn't a factor, or also, then you're not ugly. You could be on the spectrum, but you don't follow the ugly side. You follow the beautiful side, but not extremely beautiful that you catch people's attention. I think it's a very sweet spot to be, because then you literally, your mind is just let to be and to thrive in other things. So you can think of anything you want. You can pick up anything you want. You don't get to think about these struggles for beauty or ugliness. I think it's a sweet spot, but you can tell me if it's something you think of. All of you are pretty. All of you are pretty. Mbona character zako si ugly? Emily Wilson. Si tumesema watu wako na shida ya macho. So I mentioned this in the first hour, where we are now seeing, I don't want to say an outbreak, we are now seeing a lot more beauty with brains. And it's this girl on TikTok who explained, I was the ugly duckling in school, so I knew the face card was not going to work for me. So my concentration went into other things. I built a huge personality. I have a charismatic personality. I have public speaking. I can, I have social skills. I can convince people things. I have a sense of humor, because that's how I used to cope whenever I was in a space where beauty had to come up. I knew I was not beautiful. So for me to be able to divert that conversation, I had quick humor, quick wit. So I built a perfect, beautiful personality to compensate for not being good looking. And now with time, I've gotten money, I've grown, like more meat has come on my bones. Now I'm cute. I've had a glow up. So you can imagine me having a glow up plus the personality I built when I was ugly. I am invincible. So that is where the beauty, I think that's where the beauty in the brains is coming from. And I think we've also redefined beauty, and that really helps. We sort of have redefined beauty. Therefore, right now, I don't feel like the beauty for Kibanja is the only beauty standard we have. I feel like a lot more people we look at and we're like, that's a beautiful person. That's a beautiful person. Even people who in the past we wouldn't think are beautiful, right? So I think beauty has very much evolved, and I love this space. I love this space. She finally followed you. Did you follow me? Said, you quickly decenter yourself from wanting, sorry, let me just catch it again. You quickly decenter yourself from wanting to be treated preferentially. You wait for them to be praised. Then you'll be just fine on your corner, in your corner. Yes. So when you're not conventionally beautiful, you sort of don't wait for your compliments. You just know, okay, no one is seeing me. And you actually live a very invincible. No, invincible is indestructible. Invisible. Hauonekani. Yes, you live a life where no one is seeing you. I think for the longest time, I didn't know. I know I was not pretty, but I didn't know that I was alternative pretty. I was exotic. I had very exotic features. So that I didn't know. So whenever I'd walk into rooms, I didn't expect to either be seen or to be remembered. And whenever I'd get remembered, I'd be like, okay, I don't know why. I don't know why they remember. But it's only over time that I got to look back and I realized, and it's actually people from other, it's people who would mention it when now I got into my 20s and all of that. When I was growing older and closing into 30 is when people would mention you have a very exotic feel to you. So maybe that is what made me memorable, but it was very easy for me to just disappear in my corner and exist, and I would be very surprised if people remembered me, but apparently people did. You bring up a very good point. You decenter yourself from wanting that preferential treatment, but now that's where the low self-esteem for pretty girls also comes from, because they have been so centered in their beauty that when they don't receive that attention, or they need it all the time. That is if you didn't grow up in a healthy environment and you're pretty. So you need to be reminded constantly. And if someone doesn't give you attention, then you consider it they're jealous of me, or I don't know, maybe they just there's something wrong with them. So you might work. You'll find these very pretty babes who, as we think, they're very pretty, but they're working for the attention of men who are completely disrespecting them, and you just don't understand. Unaangalia msichana unashangaa ni nini huna wewe. Yes, it's this one man who hasn't given her attention, and she needs that man to give her that attention, because how dare you not recognize that I'm pretty? So I need to work to prove to you that I'm pretty like everyone else knows. So that's where the flip side. We've said at a episode to get a flip side, by the way. Emily Wilson, you're saying people have bad characters because they just want to. That's very true. That's very true. Because I said, even if you were raised in a particular way, you literally can get to an age. You see how they say at a particular age, you are the background. You can't keep saying, I came from Sijui what type of background. Yes, you get to a particular age and you unlearn some things and you learn new ones. Emily Wilson, you continue to say, unakaa kama ng'ombe, be specific. What type of cow? Hamjaona ng'ombe cute? But the cows are very cute. I remember my dad used to have a cow that we named Gracie. Gracie was so cute. Gracie had very fair fur, and the cow was so beautiful. She was brown and had patches of white. Gracie was beautiful. Gracie was beautiful. Anyway, when pretty girls disappear as well, you might not have sharpened alternative tools like knowledge, social skills, humor that we've talked about. So when you need to now survive in the real world, like let's say you're a pretty girl, this point has come home. TikTok versus Instagram. So for pretty girls, let's say, Instagram was perfect. You just had to come on, take pictures, take videos, put a sound on it. That's about it. We're just on your looks. Now, when TikTok came in and a personality had to be attached to the influencer, that's when things started to crumble. So maybe when I say pretty girls disappeared from the face of the planet, maybe that's what happened. I always just banked on showing up with my face, and the likes will come, and the whatever will come, right? And that's about it. But then now, when people have to attach our face to it, and that is why we are seeing the likes of Rono, who are very famous, and Rono will wake up and just record a video. Ata hajaosha macho. Because now, when you're put in a world where a personality is required, maybe then you drown. Maybe that's what happened to the pretty girls. But if you know a pretty girl, tell me about it. Tell me in the comments. Tell us the story. Share the story so that we just get to hear it. But basically, that brings us. The last thing I wanted to say just before we go closing in on this conversation of ugly versus pretty privilege is there has been a rise in individualism, and so we are seeing some balance now. We are seeing. I've actually not had the term beauty and brains for a while now, because it seems like every girl, or rather everyone, is pretty much very beautiful and very brainy. So I haven't had it for a while. And also we see that we have also sort of decentralized what beauty is. I'm seeing like if you look at influencers, I'm really grateful for TikTok. If you look at influencers a lot, you find that we find very many girls. Let me just talk for girls. For men, it's different. You find very many girls who we find very pretty. We find huni mrembo. But in real sense, these girls look very different. All of them look very different. But we sort of find we can right now attach beauty. They're beautiful. The word beautiful to all of them who look different. Someone will come on my video and be like, Olive, you're so beautiful. I'm like, oh yeah, thank you. But then someone will also go on Kibanja's video and say, Kibanja, you're so beautiful. Oh yeah, thank you. I mean, me and Kibanja look nothing alike, but we're still both falling under the beauty category, right? So you see, we've evolved. There's individualism now. Everyone is sort of defining their beauty. We've sort of evolved the idea of beauty. Right now, even African features are considered beautiful. So we are there. We are getting there. We are decolonizing. We are getting there. And I'm happy. I'm happy with where we are at. I'm happy with the progress we are making. Morioki Kiai, you're saying, shida ya TikTok ni filters. Me, I said hakuna shida ya filter, by the way. I said, but if you find that I can use a filter and look cute, You use the same filter. The way Shonadwa said, can you use the same filter we see? I want the same filter on you. We see if you'll turn out as beautiful as I am. So at the end of the day, even the idea of filters is not a factor for me. And sometimes, let me tell you, filters has really saved us. Me as a content creator, there are days you've woken up, you don't feel like being here and you need to record a video. Your face is looking the way it wants to look. You don't even want to wash it. And on those days, unaeka filter, una record video, na unasonga. So yes, at the end of the day, yes, filters are also, they really catfish, by the way. But at the end of the day, I also feel like, how much does it change? How much does it change you? At the end of the day, you still look like a version of the filter you put on. I think. I don't know. I don't have a problem with filters per se. Emily Wilson, you say Alia Khan, Alienda Wapi. Who's Alia Khan? You know me, I don't know this lifestyle celebrities so much. I'll look her up and see who Alia Khan is. But also, do you remember what was her name? She? Do you remember what was her name? Why do I forget her name? She's just surfaced the other day from Eldoret. She was a huge, I don't know whether to call them socialite at the time when Instagram was so expensive, I couldn't even afford to be on full time. There was a girl at the time called Chevrolet. What was her name? If you remember it, utaniambia. But yes, she was like peak everything. And then there's this one time she just disappeared from the planet. And then the other day they've come back with a video of her saying, this is what happened to her. She just went back to her regular life. Yeah, but Vanessa Chettle. Thank you, Ian. Oh, Ian Duncan. Hi. Thank you, Vanessa Chettle. Vanessa Chettle is the name. Do you remember Vanessa Chettle? Hey, that time I hadn't even come to Nairobi. I used to see her pop bottles with Akina Joe Mushiri. I said, when I come to this Nairobi, I'll go to 1824. I've been to 1824 a maximum of 3 times. Hey, Nairobi. Yes, Vanessa Chettle is the one I'm saying. She actually just fell from the surface of the planet at one time. I don't know where she went to. And then just the other day, she's resurfaced, and apparently she just went back to like a regular life back in LD. She just be chilling. So I guess it is what it is. It really is what it is. Vanessa Chettle, Emily Wilson, you're saying hamtaki watu watumie filter. Mbona ziliwekwa basi? Umesoga bere my love. Umekuja sana, eh? No, filters. You use filters. If you want to catfish someone, walipia emotional intelligence ni waoneshe vile kukatfish wa inaka, please. And she finally followed you, unasema Vanessa Cheruto. Is she the same person? Is she? No, Vanessa Cheruto. Vanessa Chettle. Oh, her other name was Cheruto. I guess I never knew what her other name was. But yeah, pretty privilege and ugly privilege. Yo. Anyways, this is the In All Honesty podcast on our TBC radio show coming to you live. She's married. Murioki anasema Murioki here, you're saying she's married. Oh, Vanessa is now married. Oh, okay, cool. Is it? Nilikuwa wapi? I was closing this show. We have discussed pretty privilege versus ugly privilege. We've discussed beauty and self-esteem. We've discussed Kibanja. We've discussed in my prime teachers targeting pretty girls in school. All of that has been discussed on this episode of the In All Honesty podcast on our TBC radio show. This comes to you every Monday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on Instagram Live. And if you want to catch the episode, you haven't caught the live action right here, you can find it on buyolive.com. The link is in my bio. And there you can stream from tomorrow onwards, because we're recording today. From tomorrow onwards, you can stream this second hour on anywhere where you get your podcast. So whether it's Spotify, AfriPods, Amazon Music, Castbox, you can get your podcast there and you can get to stream it. This is the second hour. But if you want the full show, unedited, unadulterated, 2 hours, full yote, you can get the audio on buyolive.com. You download the episode for only 75 Kenyan shillings. That's how you get to support the podcast. Or you can join our YouTube membership for only 322 shillings. And every other week, Boro umelipa 300 bob yako polite, utapata episode every other week, and you can get to actually watch the video itself on YouTube. And Emily Wilson, you were saying out of topic, but unaregesha locks. Hapana, hii story ni ndefu. And now that we're speaking about ugly and beautiful, you know, when I was giving a story on TikTok, another girl came to the comments and asked, where is this you people are getting hired and getting corporate jobs with undone hair? It's not locks, it's just undone hair. And I said, what have I done to you? What have I done? So let me tell you the story of my hair before I leave. I didn't know what I want to do with my hair, but I also don't like it open because I don't like to comb it. So a friend of mine she made twist outs for me. So once she made twist outs, they were so light on my head and they were just perfect. And I was just like, I can still wash my hair whenever I want, as many times as I want. And my head is light. Like, it's not like braids where you feel like there's something on your hair. So I'm here. You think even me, I know what I want to do? I don't know. So these are twist outs that have grown out. They might look like locks. Imagine we just move. Even me, I don't know. You'll move with me. You'll grow with my hair as I grow with it. If I decide to shave it, also well and good. It really is on moods. And I think the best thing about being an adult is free will. My goodness, I'm just running around unsupervised. I can do what I want. Gosh, I am so grateful. But yes, babe, I don't know what I want to do with the hair. So we'll see. You come with me through this hair journey. But anyway, let's finish the episode with someone had requested Bien Safari, but also Sanaipe Itande's music was requested. So can we do Sanaipe Itande next week? And now we do Safari by Bien. Hey, we started doing request hour. But until next Monday, please remember to catch this episode. Remember to catch this show on Mondays, 7 to 9 a.m. on Instagram Live with yours truly, Oliver Rao. This is the In All Honesty podcast on our TBC radio show. And you can catch the live. If you don't catch the live action, you can download the episode on buyolive.com. You'll find everything there. And also get the second hour, which we're just closing on, where you stream your podcasts. So now, closing the episode for us is Safari by Bien. And see you next time. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining the live. I loved having you here. I love having these conversations. And whenever you can, join us on Mondays, 7 to 9 a.m. But until next Monday,